The Every Point Sports Podcast featuring Greg and Jack starts right now.
Oh, welcome in, everyone. Week 13 NFL Every Point Sports Podcast is getting you ahead of the lines. I am Jack Stash. We've got Greg, the Old Gamer Entertainment, with us. How are we feeling, Greg?
We're doing great. We got the Red Bull, so we're bringing the energy today.
Oh,
ready to go. Week 13. Can you believe it? Week 13, guys.
Woo! 13 weeks and we've been hot. We hit all over Thanksgiving.
Dude, listen, just last week alone, 8-3-1, and the one I'm saying was the that was unfortunately the Vikings game. And one of the losses I racked up as a loss, even though I said I wasn't going to take them. But me and Jack both liked the Chiefs last week. I didn't take them, but I'm still racking it up as a loss because I like to be fair. I like to be transparent. So 8-3-1 I went last week. Made some bank last week.
I did okay. I took those bucks I told you to take.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted. I was so close to taking Seattle, and I went, you know what? Just take your money for the day. And as I saw the score start to play Seattle's way, I went, I was really upset. I didn't like spike it, but I hit some money. So
move on. I cleaned up last week. If I would have hit on that that Cardinals and the Texans game, both of them, add a couple more hundred to my score. I had two big parlays that I hit every game except for those two games.
Yeah,
those two games came through. I was going to kill it. I was going to come on here and just let them hang. Just let them hang. We did well. Anybody that watched the podcast last week, you guys did well. You had to have. Jack had some good picks. I had some good picks. But we are
either making money or you're not watching.
Exactly. We're here to give you the best information and the best. I would say the best way to go. Either way, Jack gives you some good points. I give you some good points. We don't always agree, and that's what you want.
And we're letting you know where the state of these teams are.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we're letting you know where the state of the teams are. So, like, when we give you an analysis on a game, right, it might not always be, they won the past three or but there's a lot of things that go into this. There's locker rooms that could be being destroyed currently, and I know that you're just reading
Jags.
Well, I know that you're reading records, right? And you don't have all the time, that we have and that we put into this. So we're trying to make your Sunday enjoyable.
Absolutely. Listen, we're already having a blast just watching the games. We really are. But guys, aren't we having a lot more fun when we have a couple more bucks on the game and we start winning a little bit? It gets the blood flowing.
I love being right with these games. That's what I love. Dude, when I saw
you should hear me with my girlfriend Joy sitting on the couch. I'm like, Joy, got another one right. I'm like, I'm the only one that picked this game, Joy. Gut feeling, Joy.
I was hammering your phone last week too, but we'll get to that guy later.
Absolutely. Then I hammered back, but then I came back with the freaking lost bastards. But that's all right. I'm not on that side yet, but I'm slowly creeping to that side. Let's put it that way. Slowly. I'm still not sold on him because he did throw that pick six, so I'm still not sold on him. But I said I'm slowly creeping to that side. Slowly. All right, guys, let's see here. Let's start this off. We got a great game on the docket here. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Steelers are at +3. Over-under is 46. Steelers are at +130. And Bengals are at -155. Before we jump into this, I'm sorry for my ignorance. is first off, I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. And Jack, how was your Thanksgiving?
It felt good. We went out. We didn't
Okay.
stay in and cook. We went to this lovely place, and I was just, it's warm down here.
Yeah.
It's not super warm. It's been chillier lately. I don't want to insult everyone else because I know it's really cold up north, but it's been getting into the low 40s, right? So you start your days kind of like a spring April day up north. It's a little chillier. It's crispy. But we went out and we got. I wasn't gonna get any kind of Thanksgiving dinner because you don't feel Thanksgiving-y, I guess, if it's really nice and warm. But this waitress mentioned that the cook put his heart and soul into making a huge Thanksgiving feast for everybody to enjoy. So I ordered it. It was fantastic. It was really good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I was surprised. I wasn't gonna get it, and then I did.
Nice. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
great Thanksgiving with my wife and family.
I made my second turkey
Yeah.
of my life. Came out very well. Last year's came out well. This year's came out well. So yeah, it was a nice Thanksgiving. My dad came over. Joy's parents came over. We had the boys here. So yeah, it was nice.
That's fantastic. All right, that sounds good.
All right. Now we got the pleasantries out of the way. Let's get back to business. All right, Jack. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals. You already know who I like here. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Tomlin is 64% win ratio, being a 3 or more point underdog. I just think all around Pittsburgh has the better team. Cincinnati can score quickly. That I'll give them. They don't have a defense, and they can't score if they're not on the field.
Yeah, and I know, and the Steelers have a remedy, right? The Steelers have a rhyme, have a reason. They built this team a certain way. I know why this. Everybody's there go. I can't believe that the Bengals are favored. Well, this is why they're favored. They're at home, first of all, and they lost the first meeting. Right? These teams usually split. Pittsburgh splits with Baltimore. Pittsburgh splits with Cincinnati, and Cleveland's losers forever. Oh no, that's not true. That's not entirely true. When Baker Mayfield was there, Cleveland was a real football team. They are not now.
Cleveland beat Pittsburgh, so
I get that, but they needed a foot of snow after the halftime.
No, but it's like college. It's a rival game. It really is.
But the whole division usually splits because they the one thing that each team does in that division, no matter what, is they build a good team to beat a team in that division at least once. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. So I would, if you are feeling frisky, I would take the Cats on the money line. I would take the Bengals on the money line because you're getting value. And, if Cincinnati does score quickly and gets on the board quickly, and by the way, they've been a little different since getting T. Higgins back. They've been more explosive. I know that it sounds like they should be, but they are. I think that they can get on top of Pittsburgh. And what happens when Russ has to throw? Because that hasn't happened this year. Russ hasn't had to come back. And if he has to come back from 10 down, I want to see how that works. It's the one question everyone has with Pittsburgh. Can Russ bring them into a game without Pittsburgh absolutely controlling all of it?
Yeah, I don't know if he could bring them back, but I know he can score with the best of them. I mean, they won 3 weeks in a row scoring 30-plus points. So that I'm not worried about. So I think they could keep up with Cincy. I'm with you with as far as they've been more explosive, Cincinnati has, since T. Higgins has gotten back, but that defense is still porous.
No, they're not a good defense.
Yeah, and like I said, Cincy can't score if they're not on the field. Pittsburgh has a really good defense. So that's why I'm taking the points with Pittsburgh. I took this game really early in the week because I really thought the line would have moved. It hasn't moved, which is kind of crazy to me. It's staying at 3, and I don't think it's going to move.
No, and you know what? I don't like a team traveling after the holiday.
Yeah, but it's only over to Cincy. I mean, it's not like they're traveling across country. It's like right there.
It's even worse in this case, right? You kind of still feel like you're at home. The holidays are still present in your mind. I'm not saying that plays into everything, but I don't want to be traveling to Cincinnati after Thanksgiving at all. I know I got a job to do. I like this spot for Cincinnati. I don't love it, but if you're going to take one that feels like an even game, you have a little bit here. Right? Like Cincinnati has a little bit to play for. Not a lot, but they still have a little bit of life to them. There's a lot of games out here that are much closer lines that you're like, Jesus, this team isn't playing for anything. So I'll take Cincy, you'll take Pittsburgh. We'll split there.
Yep, absolutely. You like Cincy on the money line, you're getting negative 155, so you're getting a little value there. I like Pittsburgh getting the plus 3. So,
feels good.
All right. Next, we got Houston at Jacksonville. Speaking of a locker room that has quit, Houston is giving 3.5. Over under is 44.5. Houston's at negative 192. Jacksonville's at plus 160. Everybody's like probably thinking, well, if Jacksonville is so bad and Houston's so good, why is it only 3.5?
Yeah, it's the Trevor Lawrence coming back effect. So Trevor Lawrence has been good when he was in, right?
Serviceable.
God, he's awful.
Starting quarterback.
Oh my God, I don't know. It's Jaguar fans are living on what he looks like or what he was in college. And if I put his statistics next to Gardner Minshew, you guys would be upset with me because it's not much different. The man looks different. And maybe they got Gardner Minshew out of there because, to be quite honest, he might have beat him out in camp. And by the way, that's not saying a lot about Mr. Gardner Minshew. It's saying it's speaking volumes. So we're betting on Trevor Lawrence coming back, but he hasn't looked like anything. That line doesn't protect him. He doesn't want to get hit. I feel like he put 15 pounds on to deal with getting hit, but now it's slowed him down. It's just over in Jacksonville. There's no way I could bet the Jaguars today, and I know that maybe it's a good play, but not for me.
I said I like the Texans. Jags, they like you said, they have nothing to play for. Texans are coming off the worst loss of the year for them. I really think they're going to bounce back strong on this game. And unfortunately, the Jags they're going to take it out on the Jags. I don't take the points if you want to. I think this is going to be a bloodbath. I think the Texans are going to win this by 10 to 14 points. Right there, guys. I mentioned, I think, a couple weeks ago about how I learned about a new betting to make some more money. You can bet alternate lines.
I love it,
guys.
I love doing this. Did I tell you?
Yes.
Is this me?
And if you think the Texans are going to win by more than 3.5, if you think they're going to win by 10, do a 10-point. Do it by 10. Give the Jags 10, dude. You're going to make so much more money off of that. This is a game that I feel very strongly that the Texans are going to win by 10 to 14 points. So this is a game that I'm going to put an alternate spread on.
And so a great example, you're going to love this example, right? You and I both sat here. It was almost Jacoby Brissett's last game. He was coming off of a bad event, right? It's not his life, but just it was a bad showing. Then they travel to San Francisco, and the line is 7. And you and I both sat there, and we were like, you know what? San Fran could come out with the whooping stick. We both love them by 10. That's a great alt line in that spot. When you know that it's wrong, right? And you're sitting there, and there's no way that this team can compete with San Fran. And San Fran blasted them by 15, I think. That's a great alt line spot. You didn't need the 15. But the 10 would have given you a little bit extra.
Oh yeah, yep, yes, yeah. I love I love this. Again, I think they're going to win by 10 to 14 points. Factor that in and then clean up a little bit. Do an alternate points. I don't think we really need to stay too long on this game. This is a fairly easy game to talk about.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, you're gonna be changing the channel early.
Yeah, exactly. Next, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Washington Commanders. Titans are getting 6 points. Over under is 44.5. Titans are at plus 205. Commanders are at negative 250. Jack, thoughts here?
Yeah. Here's my thoughts, guys. I've been banging the drum for weeks. I've been telling you, listen, if you want free money, take the Will Levis over. Right? I understand that, he's not this guy or not that guy, but all he's doing is outperforming the quarterback that's across the street from him every week. He's smashing his he hit his over last week before halftime. His over was 192. What are we doing here? He slings the damn thing. He's not going anywhere. And by the way, I understand we're coming upon Rudolph's season, but that's his competition. I might have a stronger arm. I might. His arm is bad. It's garbage. It's bad news. It's not very good at all. The Will Levis over has crept up this week. It's crept up 10 yards.
Okay.
He threw for like 290 last week, and they crept it up 10 yards. I'll take the over again. 202.5. He's gone over his yards passing the past 5 weeks. The Commanders' defense is meh.
I just gotta say that, like, they're not a very good defense. I mean, look what the Cowboys did to them.
And a defense that's meh against a quarterback that doesn't really push it, they can attack. But Will ain't that guy. Will's gonna slam it 20, 30, 40. I mean, you saw his touchdowns last week. I texted you and I went, brother, he just chucked a set, and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He knows. And like, it's like a singer. You and I talk off some. I talk with other people, and I say, you know why singers don't get nervous? Because they can really sing. They don't get nervous at big events and oh my God, there's 100,000 fans. They don't care. They can really sing. They're going to put on a show for everybody. Will doesn't care. He can really chuck it. He can really slam that ball in there. His interception last week is, you're going to have things happen like that.
Just to say that, that 70-yard touchdown that he threw was after the pick six.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just shows you right there. The guy has brass balls. You know what I mean? Like, you throw a pick six, a lot of younger quarterbacks, even a lot of your veterans will clam up, get a little tight, play a little cautious. Not him. He doesn't care. He has a little bit of that Brett Favre in him. Just down the field.
Yeah, and the pick six, I watched the replay and I went, he wanted the wide receiver to sit. The kids knew he's a rook. He wanted him to sit in that little slot. And by the way, if that kid kept continuing where he wanted the ball to go, he was going to be spelling his name wrong for the rest of his life. Will wanted him here, and he kept running into a safety that was going to take his head off. It's a young thing, right? He doesn't trust everything yet. He's the young, the last name's Westbrook.
Yeah.
He's the young kid, will trust, but they're not there yet. I know that everybody's on the Commanders. They'll be wrong. Take the Titans with the points, but this is going to be close.
I like the Titans. You guys don't know this, but Jack and I was a little bit late today because I had to hurry up and put a bet in on the Titans. When Jack and I talked, it was 5.5, but that's we were getting everything around for the podcast. It jumped up to 6. I wanted to jump on that. I teased that. So actually I'm getting 12 now, which I love. So yeah, I'm all over the Titans on this game. Another thing about Washington and Kingsbury. Kingsbury, single guy in the offseason. He gets his game plan together. He knows what he's talking about. He comes up with some new schemes. But by halfway through the season, teams start to catch up. They start to get to study a little bit more on him. And his offenses aren't as potent. He did it at Texas Tech. He did it with the Cardinals. And he's doing it with Washington now. So you guys might want to keep an eye on that. As Cliff Kingsbury keeps going throughout the year, his offense isn't as potent, guys.
Yeah, he's he gets a little lazy and he makes personnel mistakes.
And he doesn't change his scheme. He keeps what he had in the beginning. His scheme doesn't evolve throughout the season like a lot of other great offensive coordinators.
You know, his biggest personnel scheme, his biggest personnel mistake ever was
What's that?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah.
He went back to Davis Webb. Davis Webb and Baker packed his bags and went to Oklahoma. That did not work, Cliff. That was a bad move. Yeah, again, Levis outthrew. They lost the game because he has no offensive line, but he did outthrow Justin Herbert. Hey, I got news for you. He outthrew CJ Stroud last week. We love CJ Stroud, right? He outthrew him, and he really, like, the explosive plays went to Levis. So I think like Will's making a statement here. Will's going, listen, Tennessee, if you want to move off me, that's fine. But just so you know, I'm better than this quarterback. I'm better than this quarterback. I'm better. Like, this is a guy that was a backup at Penn State, had the arm strength, and went, you know what? I'll go to Kentucky. And they went, why did you go to the SEC? He goes, because I'm that good.
Mm-hmm.
I
think. Oh, go ahead. Finish up.
He had up and down moments at Kentucky, but scouts started showing up to games. And they went, oh, who's this kid? Where did you come from? You chose to go to the SEC in your 4th year. That's not, but look at that arm. I mean, they gushed over it, and I talk about it every week. He's in the gym. He works hard. He doesn't see everything perfectly yet, but Brett Favre did not work in his first place, and he's letting people know that if you want to let me go, this is not a good move. Every week.
Yeah, I think Willis, I think Levitz, I think Bryce Young, I think they both played well enough towards the end of the stretch here to where they bought themselves another year. This draft class is not good at quarterback. Not good at all. You have 2, maybe 3, and even then, they're not top-tier quarterbacks. Everybody's on Sanders. He's not that great. He's really not going to be that great. He's going to be a solid NFL quarterback, and that's about it. In my opinion.
I watched him do something yesterday that was special for once.
I'm not saying the kid isn't special, but what you can do in a college for Colorado playing for Colorado and the competition that they play compared to the NFL, it's 2 totally different animals. It's not like he's doing this in the SEC.
No, but I watched yesterday. He was on, I think they were on like the 11 or 12 yard line. Had an opportunity to run it in. I mean, he could have easily just run the ball in, right? And he's going to get drafted because he's Deion Sanders' kid, right? Like, that's a little bit of that, right? It's a little bit of that, right? Peyton Manning got drafted so high because he was Arch Manning's kid. Like, there were scouts everywhere. Scouts everywhere said he had a 3rd round arm. That's not me. That's what they say.
And that was his knock throughout his whole career. He didn't have the strongest arm. And a big knock on him in college was he couldn't win the big game. He never won the big game.
So, and his Super Bowls in the league weren't against great quarterbacks. But getting past that, I watched Shadur Sanders yesterday almost get flushed out of the pocket, remake the pocket, and throw an 11-yard touchdown pass. And I went, hey, now, that is pro quarterback play. Like, if I bet, and you would agree with me, if I put that highlight on there, you go, oh, that was nice how he got back in there. He had every opportunity to run right and left. And he came back in. It was perfect. And he's just kind of working it and slid right back in after he remade it and threw a dart to the back of the end zone. And it was a touchdown. I went, that's going to be tough for scouts to forget.
Listen, I didn't say he wasn't going to be an NFL quarterback. I just said, I don't see a star in this class. And everybody agrees. And all the experts that you watch, they all say this is a down year for the quarterback position. Even the top quarterbacks that are going to be drafted, it is a down year for them.
Yeah.
So, one thing before we move on real quick, because we don't have Dallas play Thanksgiving, so we won't be going over them. I just want to point something out real quick. Didn't I last week talk about how Dallas's kickoff return, their special teams, how different and good they were? Yep. Didn't they return a touchdown last week? Weren't their returns really good? Wasn't that like part of like, all right, the key to the game?
Let's move on.
All right. We're moving on. But I just wanted to bring that up, guys, real quick. Like Jack and I, he's over here pounding the drum about Levitt. I'm just saying, keep your ears open. Keep your ears open.
Because it's been money every week.
I'm just saying, we come at you every week with these one or two really good stats, these really good things, these really good feelings that we have. I just want you guys to pay attention to those.
I'm really good with trends. My eyes are really good. And I'm telling you, like, I understand. I think I know this is what I know. I know that if you took Levis and put him in as a Los Angeles Charger, the record would be the same. So now now let's evaluate it. Like if he had a guy, a real coach, a real scheme, a real everything. Like now let's look at it. They took his greatest asset away from him. We can't pay for Derrick Henry. Why? He looks like Ronnie Coleman and he's training for Mr. Olympia. I don't want to hear, maybe he'll fall off. Are you going to draft another running back? No, we kind of like Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
What do you like?
Yeah.
Fire that guy. Who said that? No. You need a running back that can break down a linebacker before you find a scat back. Yeah, but Tony's a good. Oh my God.
If anybody heard the Titans talk last year, the writing was on the wall that Travis Henry was gone. They were talking up Spears left and right. The way they were talking about Spears, you would have swear he was better than Derrick Henry last year. That's why they didn't have an issue moving on from Derrick Henry. This one, they liked Spears, and they thought, I'm getting Tony Pollard. All right, between those two, we're going to be way better. Well, Henry wasn't ready to say goodbye yet. He's having a killer year. Year.
Yeah.
All right. Next
on the docket. We love Levis.
Yes, we both like Tennessee here, by the way.
Finally, devastating.
We both like the points here, right? No money line, nothing like that.
No. Don't get cute. Take the points. They're giving you points.
Take the points.
I love an alt line here.
Mm-hmm.
So before we move on, I don't want to play with these points. 6, I hate 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 6s are thrown out there because it's going to be a late touchdown and they're going to kick the extra point. When I see 6, I always buy 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
That way, at the end of the game, when you're like, "Oh man, the Titans lost by 7," I'm laughing because I got the hook, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I got the 1.5 extra points, and I don't care if that guy misses or makes the extra point. It doesn't matter to me because then even if Levis has to push the ball down and throws a late game interception, Washington's going to knee it 3 times, and I won.
Yeah,
right?
what I did here, guys, I teased the Titans with the Texans. So I'm getting 2.5 with the Texans, and I'm getting 12 with Tennessee.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's a good one. Listen to that.
So what's that?
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I like that. That's the one I put in right before we went live.
Getting 12 with
so
Tennessee.
What's the other part? I'm getting 12 with Tennessee and getting 2.5 with the Texans.
Oh yeah, that'll play.
So
that's a great bet. Listen to that one, guys. Put that one in now.
Now, do it.
Put it in now. That's great. That's a great.
All right, next, guys, we got the Arizona Cardinals against the Minnesota Vikings. Cards are plus 3.5. Over under is 45.5. Money line cards are at plus 142. Minnesota is negative 170. I do like Minnesota here. I am trying to think here. I
got stay away written all over it.
What was that?
I wrote stay away on it.
Yeah. I liked it more at 3. When I was going on this, it was at 3. To me, Arizona's too inconsistent. One week they look good, next week they don't. I do think it is going to be a close game. I think it is going to be a 4-point game, 5-point game, because Minnesota just doesn't put people out. Don't understand why, but they just really don't. They have a couple special players, but they're just really coached. They're coached very, very well. So yeah, I like Minnesota here.
Here's what makes me nervous. Arizona's like Miami. Now, Arizona is Miami West. They got a mini quarterback, and sometimes, he looks better, and sometimes he looks average. Right? Kyler Murray's fine for fantasy purposes, but really, you and I are in a league where he and it's an 8-man league, and I know that they need to be bigger leagues, but it's a really tough league because you have to decide which guys you want, definitely, because there's so much, the talent pool is high. It's having too many good problems, right? Having too many good challenges. Kyler Murray sits on the waiver wire. We both know that. Week in, week out. Last week, I didn't have Joe Burrow available to me, or was it 2 weeks ago? I picked up Justin Herbert, not Kyler Murray. You saw that. And so I could have went with Kyler Murray. I didn't pick him up. I didn't love him going to Seattle because I didn't think that his ball was going to work as well in the whipping winds of Seattle.
And if you guys watched the podcast, Jack said that.
And that's why I was like, that line's fishy. But here's the thing about the Vikings, and I do need to say this, and you're like, oh, well, that doesn't make any. I think Darnold's banged up. I know that they're coming off a bye, but when Sammy starts to get hit, and I call him Sammy when he starts to get hit, I'm not saying he's seeing ghosts, but he is not a dude that can take brutality. He's a good arm. He's a relief pitcher. You can win. You do really well with relief pitchers. I'm not saying that, but relief pitchers don't get hit.
But
right?
And that's a little weird because he is a bigger quarterback. He has a bigger frame. He's not a slender quarterback. He's not a small stature quarterback. He's actually a very pretty big built quarterback.
But he doesn't like getting hit in the ribs. That's his whole thing.
Well, I mean, no quarterback does. No quarterback like getting hit in the ribs. You know?
But they bounce back better. A Mayfield bounces back better. You know who bounces back after he gets hit in the ribs all the time? Kirk Cousins. I don't know whether he goes home and his kids and his wife are just punching me. He can get up after Justin Herbert takes a beating in the ribs pretty well. Trevor Lawrence doesn't. Trevor's about the same size. And once he gets hit in those ribs, man, check him out. He's done. And that's
go ahead.
That's a little bit of the thing here, because I don't think the Vikings really care about Daniel Jones. But I do think they know that they might need Daniel Jones.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
And if for any instance in this game, your money catches fire because Sam Darnold has to come out and Daniel Jones is really their best option, or maybe it's Nick Mullins, I don't want to be living there. I'm taking Arizona here.
I like the Vikings here.
I know, but I think that there's a real question that we're not seeing, and it might not be coaching, might not be anything. I'll take Arizona. It was 3.5.
It is a 3.5.
Is it?
Yeah. But when I got on earlier today, it was at 3. So I went up half a point. So it's floating back and forth then. Just to let you guys know, a little side note, the wise guys have no interest in this game at all. None.
Neither do I. Actually, I don't have any interest, but I would take the Cardinals 3.5 because I think if they lose, it's by 3.
Okay. I don't have any interest in this game either, but I will be taking the Vikings on this game for the single fact that they're coming off of a bye.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's great. Yeah, I like that. And maybe he doesn't get banged up, but I just want that information out there. That way we're sitting there going, oh,
absolutely.
My God. Because there's no reason you sign Daniel Jones if Darnold's perfectly healthy. There ain't no reason. But you think there's a problem coming down the pike, so you try and solve the problem ahead of time. That's
absolutely. I mean, what other backup I know Daniel Jones was a nightmare at as a starter for New York, but what other backup with his starting expertise, his athletic ability is available out there this time of year? Nobody, and never does this happen. So
Yeah.
you jump at the chance, and I'm actually surprised the Vikings got him. I thought he would pick a couple of other teams other than the Vikings. So
You know who I thought would take a shot at him? I thought the Niners would take a shot at him
yeah. You actually said that to me.
because they look right now. They currently have a Brock Purdy problem,
Mm-hmm.
and their backup can't do any of the things that Daniel Jones can.
No, and I don't like Allen to begin with. Dobbs should have been starting, and not Allen.
I know, but no, again, I would have at least raised my hand and try to bring the cat in there and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
and that's the problem with Shanahan. It really is. Like Dobbs is plainly the more athletic, the more explosive quarterback to play there. But you play Brandon Allen, who is a run system first quarterback, and he there's a reason why he's a backup.
Kyle Shanahan a lot of times lets his ego get in the way. He's an
too many times.
He's an
too
ego.
many times.
He could have raised his hand for Baker Mayfield. Did not.
Mm-hmm.
Did not.
Brady wanted to play for us. Brady wanted to come. Shanahan's like, no, thank you. We got Jimmy Garoppolo. We're good.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Just saying.
No, I know. We've been on this tree for a while, barking up at both us dogs, going. There's a guy up there that's got to come down.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next, we got Seattle Seahawks at New England at New York Jets. Seattle is getting 1 point. Over under is 41.5. Money lines -108 for Seattle and -112 for the Jets.
I don't know, man.
I like the Jets here. They're coming off of a bye. Rested up a little bit. Seahawks coming off a big win against a division rival with the Cardinals last week. I don't love it, but I like it.
Here's the thing. I don't mind old guys getting rest if they want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers came out this past week and said, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play next year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. Yeah.
He didn't say, maybe I'm going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I'll go somewhere. Maybe this. Maybe is wide open. He literally put the answer in his response. I don't know. No is the distant cousin to not.
Yeah.
Right? You bring that tea in there and you're hanging out together. I think he knows. And I don't like an old guy sitting down, drinking bourbon with his friends. They're over a Thanksgiving break and then having to go play football again. Mm-hmm. I don't love it. And I know that we're sitting here looking at this line and, but the Jets and you know what? I can't do it anymore. I had a check mark, but I can't do it. I think what's going to happen is the same thing that's going to happen. Seattle's going to come in. I understand that the travel, right? And it's going to be a slow start. And when the Jets play like they have been all year, slowly, I just think he's going to fold in the second half. Stop playing hard. Know that he's done. You'd start dreaming about the couch while he's on the sideline. I think he's that guy. I'm taking the Seahawks here. On the money line, they're fighting for something, right? They're division lead, but not by much.
Mm-hmm.
They got out of Arizona last week. New coach, things to prove. Geno still looks like he wants to, right? Dove into San Francisco a couple weeks ago. He didn't have to take off. He was going to get battered. Got it. Then he got Arizona. I think this is the third one in a row for Seattle, and we finally figure out who's the front runner in that division.
Seattle barely escaped last week against the Cardinals, even with Kyler playing as bad as he did. I think Brett Favre will play better than what Kyler played last week. This was another bye week for that offense to kind of click a little bit, get some practice time in. I like the Jets a lot here actually, the more and more I think about it. The 1 point, Seattle going all the way across country after Thanksgiving. Yeah, I like the Jets here.
Yeah, I won't be playing this.
Yeah, no, and listen, it's Seattle. They
Don't
could
play
very
this
well
way.
come in. Geno could be the good Geno, or he could be the Geno that plays the Houdini and disappears.
I think the bad Geno's even better than the good Aaron at this point.
I don't know. The bad Geno's pretty bad.
Yeah, but it's still a good half. It's still an inspired half of football. I just can't see the cold New York outside, the wind. Oh my God, I quit already, and I'm not even playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to come down to who can pass. They both have a good running game. Walker's very good. Hall's very good. So yeah, I just think Aaron's going to do a little bit more than what Geno has done. So I do like the Jets here.
All right. That's
all right. So we are split on this. Jack likes the Seattle Seahawks. I like the Jets on this. Next, we got the LA Chargers at the Atlanta Falcons. Chargers are giving 1. Over under is 47. The money line Chargers are at -118. Falcons are at -102. What is going on, Brock? Thanks for stopping in. We greatly appreciate it.
Hey, Brock, what's going on, man? How you feeling? We're covering the Chargers. I'll give you a little Boston. Chargers and the Falcons.
I like the Chargers here.
Oh, we're gonna split again.
Yes, we are. I understand Dobbins just went on the IR here, but I think Edwards is going to come in and do well. But yeah, you all know, everybody that has watched us throughout this whole football season, I have been pounding the drum about Harbaugh. Very, very rare will I pick against him. I think 2 weeks in a row I have picked against him, though. But it's a rare occasion. I have been on the Chargers all year, and I am not jumping off of them now. I like the Chargers here. Think it's going to be a closer game than what people well, I mean, it is a 1-point game, but I think people think it's going to be a larger blowout, or not even a blowout, but a larger spread than what the 1 point is. I think it's right about where it should be.
God, I like the Falcons in this spot. I really do. They're at home. I don't care about the +1, -1. That's back and forth. It doesn't matter, right? Like when it says +1, just laugh at it. Because if you don't think that you could find something, then don't bet it. I just think that Atlanta's got better offensive talent, and I know that their defense isn't perfect, but their defense is good sometimes. Playing indoors, right? They have the advantage there, right there at home. Kirk Cousins getting a week to relax, right? Getting a week to relax, wants to do it, right? Like Kirk Cousins is exactly what you want in this position. I think that if Atlanta loses this game, they're in a lot of trouble. Because if they lose this game, I think that they're going to fall out of favor in that division. I think the wheels start falling off. They start looking at each other and going, dude, how'd we end up here? And maybe that could happen, but I think that Bijan Robinson it could be enough. You have BJ Robinson, you have you have Kyle Pitts. I think
London.
Yeah, I'm Darnell Money. I call him Money, baby, because he knows he's good. I just think there's Ray McLeod. I just think there's too much. The Chargers defense is bad.
The Chargers defense is good.
Not on this planet. No.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. They're a lot better than the Falcons defense.
Well, they might be, but they played no offenses, and the past 2 times that they've played real offenses, they've given up a ton of points. I know what their stuff is in the beginning of the year, right? Their yards per game is probably first in the NFL, but you played quarterbacks like me,
Yeah, they're ranked 11th in the NFL. Their defense is,
and that's within 2 weeks, right? So you went from 1 to 11 because you played real offenses. I want to see what you look like against real offenses. Cincinnati lit you on fire. Baltimore, woof. I mean, just took out your secondary. And if you think Cousins isn't going to attack you, he is. Especially off a bye week, I would bet right now that the Chargers give up at least 300 yards total offense.
I mean, 300 total isn't that much. I mean, that's 200 passing, 100 yards rushing. With Robinson, you should get 100 yards rushing almost every week. And then you have Algier that could pick up any slack. Say Robinson gets you 75, Algier gets you 25. You should get 100 yards rushing with those two running backs. And then Cousins should get you to at least 200 yards passing every week. If the Chargers hold the Atlanta to that, I like them even more.
Yeah, I think 47.5, that's an Atlanta game. It really, to me, it's an Atlanta game. I Gus the Bus Edwards, right? Guys, a bus ever move fast? No. They truck people, but, he hasn't looked like he's had the shift. Gus used to be able to hit the hole and shift, and now he just kind of hits the hole and gets shifted. And he hasn't carried a lot this year either. He hasn't carried a lot to look this slow. That scares me because now you're having to manufacture an offense around what? Lad McConkey, who's been banged up.
I think they're going to get Edwards in rhythm. I think he's better when he gets in rhythm as a running back, and I don't think Quentin Johnston's going to drop every damn pass like he did last week.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. I don't see that happening. He might drop a few, but I don't see him dropping everything.
Yeah, I just don't have any explosive players. I do like what Harbaugh's doing, but I think he's going to be a little handcuffed. I like Atlanta by 3 here, I like Atlanta by 3, and okay. I think that I think you find out what the difference is between the Chargers and the Falcons in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Not much, but just enough.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons at home.
I like the Chargers. I just want to see something.
What do we got going on? What are you looking at?
I just wanted to see what their schedule was.
Oh, in the beginning of the year, where they were playing
in general. Let's see here.
Yeah, I mean, look at again. I think the Falcons have been. And that's the other thing. The Falcons have been losing games lately. I think they've lost 2 out of their past 3.
Listen, I'm not saying that they're a great team by far. I'm just saying that I do like them.
I think it's a good spot for the Falcons.
Where the hell are they?
It's a good spot for them to come back at home off a bye. Like, those are good advantage. If we were talking about any other team, any other game, at home, off a bye, Atlanta Falcons, great offense. I mean, that's a lot. And the pick'em games, the Falcons have been doing well. Remember Dallas and Atlanta was a pick'em?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, did they smash them? I mean, I understand, but Dallas was good at that point. Let's not look at the Dallas that we have now. Dallas was still in the mix of things. I think they were, 4-5 or whatever they were. Dak was still playing. And Atlanta really opened our eyes there.
Listen, I agree. And the Chargers really, they don't have like a signature win. They did beat the Bengals, but again, that's not a signature win. I mean, they hung in with the Ravens. They only lost by 7, 23-30. They lost to the Chiefs by 7. So I mean, even their losses, they're right there with their losses, but
yeah, that they just don't have, and the reason, by the way, the reason we picked Baltimore last week had nothing to do with the brothers. It had to do with Lamar Jackson was going to be the most athletic player on the field. And guess what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I picked against the Chargers last week. I picked against the Chargers the week before. They ended up winning that week, though, up against the Bengals.
Yeah, well, I think you're on to something. Falcons.
I like that. Like I said, I like the Chargers here. I'm not picking against Harbaugh again. this week, anyways. I can't say again, but this week. So we're split on this one too. I like the Chargers. Jack likes the Falcons. This is basically a pick 'em, anyways. So
Yeah, it is.
yeah. So you guys pick who you guys want. We just give you the information here.
It's next on our docket.
Next, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the New England Patriots. Colts are giving 2.5. Over under is 42.5. Colts are at -135 money line. Patriots are at +114 money line. Patriots are playing a lot better than what I thought they were going to this year. But ultimately, the Colts have a hard-nosed team. I think they have a better roster than the Patriots. I like the Colts here by 3, at least by 3. So I think they cover this 2.5 easily.
God, I don't know. I don't know what that weather's going to look like up there. It's going to be miserable.
And that means I like the Colts even more then.
I don't know.
Richardson running the ball. Don't need to throw it. You run him and you run Jonathan Taylor. That's it. I love that. The worse the weather gets, the more I like the Colts.
Anthony Richardson has gone from Florida to indoors Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. There's a reason this game should be higher than 2.5.
Mm-hmm. But should it? The Patriots have been playing very, very well the last couple weeks. Very well. The Colts have not been playing as good. Since Richardson came back, the last 2 games they've been playing way better, but still not a good team.
No Josh Downs. Banged up Alec Pierce at wide receiver. Quarterback that can't read defense. I don't know what he does well, honestly. You know what?
But this is a game that, like you just said, you don't know how bad the weather will be. This game, he doesn't have to. This game, that he just tuck it and run it.
Yeah, I kind of like the kid that doesn't even know he's in the NFL in a game like this.
Mm-hmm.
Drake May's playing like he doesn't even know he's in the NFL.
Yeah, but the worse the weather gets, the less he's going to be able to sling it around.
Yeah, and I don't care, but he's kind of a little Josh Allen. There's a little
I get it.
I'm going to take the Patriots here. I'm going to take the Patriots getting the 2.5. I just don't think the Colts have a good enough leader on their team. And I think that Drake May knows he's good. I just am starting to get a feeling that he's a kid you don't want to bet against. And I don't know why. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm starting to get to.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like the Colts on this. I like that it's under 3. I think it's going to be a field goal game, especially if the weather is bad. So, yeah, I like the Colts here.
All right. We'll split that one.
All right. Next, we got the Bucs versus the Carolina Panthers. The Bucs are giving 6.5. Over under is 46.5. Bucs are money lines at -265. Panthers are at +215. Panthers have played spoilers, backdoor covers last 2 weeks in a row. Can they do it again?
No, not really.
Okay.
Because Todd Bowles, the thing is that Todd Bowles knows what Bryce Young is. Do you know who the offensive coordinator was in Tampa Bay last year?
The head coach for
it was Dave Canales. Todd Bowles knows what you are.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what your offensive. Oh, you changed it a little bit. No, you didn't. You may have tweaked and moved and all these other things. And I understand that Canales knows Baker Mayfield, but Baker's also been in that locker room, right, with that Carolina defense. He knows who to throw to and who not to throw at. He knows their tendencies. And by the way, the Bucs need this game.
Mm-hmm.
This is now a small deal. This is a big deal. This is a Mayfield sticking it to the Panthers as well. Yeah, if you could bet the Panthers getting 6, I wouldn't touch their points. I think that they've had good games. Big deal. Bryce Young has looked better.
He's looked a lot better. He's looked a lot better.
He has, but I can't.
I'm with you. I'm with you. on this. I really am. I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate here because they have played spoiler the last 2 weeks on my bets. The Panthers have.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just, take the Bucks on the money line. Don't get cute. That's it. That's it.
Let's see. Money line, we're at 265. So we're saying, let's see, you bet $10. You get 5, I believe.
Well, you compare it with something else.
Close to that.
This is coming through because here's what's going to happen. Everyone's going to expect Mayfield to go out there and sling it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen. He is going to, because Rashad White's healthy and Bucky Irving, and he is going to go that. And I'll tell you what, you saw Syracuse play well yesterday. You might see some Sean Tucker today, right? Undrafted free agent, plays for the Bucks out of Syracuse. I just think they're going to hammer this defense early. I mean, they're going to break them down, and then you will see some creative throwing. They don't have to use Evans as much as they think they used to. You're going to see more Cade Otton, that Miller kid they really like. There are some players now that are starting to ascend for Tampa Bay among, amidst the Evans and Godwin loss. So, yeah, this one's going to turn for Carolina, and then they're going to be looking at each other again. They don't know what to do.
I do like the Bucks here too.
Yeah, it's easy money.
I like the money line. I'm really trying to find a game here, and I don't see one today, but I see one for tomorrow. Tomorrow night's is, and I don't mean to be jumping ahead, but just real quick. It's Cleveland Brown at Denver Broncos. I do like the Broncos. The Broncos are giving 6. It's a lot of points. So what I think I would do here is let's tease the Bucks down to where I'm giving a half a point and to where I'm giving a pick 'em and taking Denver.
Oh, yeah, that's a great pick. Yeah, that's a good job. Yeah, you can do that.
I just kind of want to cover my bases with this Carolina team that has screwed me the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
listen, I'm with you. I think Tampa Bay handles this game easily. But I've thought that way against the other 2 teams the last 2 weeks against the Panthers, and they've come and backdoored me. Listen, I like to clinch my ass. I don't want to be backdoored. I don't know too many guys that do like to be backdoored. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to protect myself.
Yeah.
I'm teasing that. I'm going to tease that is what I'm going to do.
All right.
So, all right. So next, we both like the Bucks here. We're just both going about it 2 different ways. I think we both like this game too. Rams at the Saints. Rams are giving 3. Over under is 49. Money line. Rams are at -148. Saints are at +124. Since the Saints fired their coach, they're playing a lot better. I still am not sold on them. They still have Carr, or as Jack would say, bicycle at
That's
quarterback.
what he is. He's a bicycle, baby. He's a bicycle.
So yeah, I like the Rams here. Their last 2 weeks they've been pretty disappointing. They're a lot better team than what they've been playing like. So I like the Rams on a bounce back game here.
All right, so let's look at, so the Rams lost to Miami at home. Right, Miami was coming in, they needed one. The Miami was playing really well, by the way. I know, but they were losing stuff. Pay attention to the game, don't pay attention to the score. I want you to watch how the players play, right? Eye test, scouting, all that stuff. That's what you need to look at, right? So Miami needed one, good. And then they had to come back and deal with the Philadelphia Eagles, who might be one of the most talented rosters in the NFL, top to bottom. I don't want to hear, I bet Detroit. I know Detroit. We know who Detroit is, but you guys don't know what the Eagles are, and they are starting to really look like it.
And like in the beginning of the season, I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to say something really quick. In the beginning of the season, I said that defense by the end of the year will be playing like one of the best in the league because of the secondary that they drafted. It took a little while for those rookies to start playing well, but those rookies are starting to play well, and that defense has picked up.
If I were to tell you that the Detroit Lions will not be in the Super Bowl, the bursts would be insane.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to tell you that Philly's the one that knocks them off, you would go, huh, really? I'm telling you.
You could see that happening. I mean, Barkley is playing like an MVP. He's good. He should rush for over 1,000 yards or 2,000 yards this year. 2,000, not 1,000. So
he was my fantasy one.
I know he was. I know he was.
He was my fantasy one. I told everybody, and they did not. I get the hands off my back. I like the Rams here. I like the Rams because the Saints aren't very good. They're a mismanaged organization. 2.5. Who cares? Just take the Rams. McVay's better. That's it.
Yeah.
McVay's better.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is pretty good. It's not great. They've been getting a few bad breaks. Stafford's been getting banged up a little bit, but I don't like the Saints here at all. I mean the Rams.
Yeah, no. Yep, I like the Rams too. All right, next we got the this is a really good game. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Baltimore Ravens. Philly is getting 3. Over under is 51. Eagles are at plus 120 money line. Ravens are at negative 142 money line. Jack, you like your Ravens here?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't. No, I don't because for the reasons why I just said. Like if you look at top to bottom, right? Baltimore's biggest strength over the years has been their defense.
Mm-hmm.
This year, it's their biggest weakness.
Yeah,
it's not a good defense. It's maybe they drafted good names, but I believe that sometimes I think they need maybe a new coordinator or maybe a new coach. I don't know, but they look sloppy. They don't knock people down like they used to, and it's the defense that's the problem. Maybe they're a little soft. The technique's bad. I don't know, but I will tell you.
I'll tell you where the weakness is. It's their secondary. If you can't stop anything on the back end, that front end isn't going to be able to do nothing.
It's gotten weaker. It's also gotten weaker. So the secondary.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That it's that secondary.
Yeah,
that's your issue right there. Your front isn't that bad. You're getting pressure on the quarterback. You're stopping the run. It's that secondary. It's everywhere from your corners to your nickel to your safeties. When your best player is Humphreys and he's missing time because of injuries, you're going to be even worse.
Yeah. So, but I think Philadelphia's defense starting to come into their own.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
The offense looks better-ish, not great, but the offense looks like it's not on thin ice now, right? We're doing a little bit.
Just like the defense, they're starting to find themselves.
Yeah. I think that this is a spot for Philly to prove that they are what I said they are. I know that Baltimore's looked great, but they're coming off a very emotional win against the Chargers. I think the Eagles here. I really do. And I know that, their greatest weakness is the guy who's leading the team in Sirianni, but he hasn't seemed to matter lately. They've basically gone, yeah, he's an idiot. I thought it was really interesting, too, that his head got shaved after he made those dumb comments. And I wonder if he made a rule in the offseason. This needs to be said. I wonder if he made a rule in the offseason. If you do something really stupid, you get your head shaved. And he went and he sat down in front of the team and went, here's the Clippers. I'm a moron. I got in a fight with a fan. Here, Jalen Hurts, you want to be the one to do it? Here, I'm an idiot. I wonder if he did that. If he did that, in respect back a little bit, you're the guy that made the dumb mistake, and now they can move on. I wonder if he did that.
I think I very well could have.
I know. I saw his head shaved. I went, "What's going on over here? Are they scalping the coach?" But if he made that rule, that's a good rule, right? Big Dom held him down. Don't move.
I think, like I said, I think the offense, the defense, both are finding themselves at the same time. I think Sirianni finally thought a little bit and said, listen, I need to stop being an idiot. Start taking the points when I can. I think the players held him accountable a little bit. I think he got a little backlash from the players. So that made him change up his philosophy a little bit. Let's take some points. Let's not go for it much on fourth down. Now, with that being said, Another reason why I do like the Eagles in this situation is for the fact that who's the Eagles quarterback?
Jalen Hurts.
What does he like to do?
He likes to run the ball.
What does Lamar like to do?
Pass the ball, actually.
Well,
Thinks he's
he
a
likes
passer.
to run the ball too. He likes to run the ball
Yeah.
too, is my point.
Yeah.
When your starting quarterback likes to run the ball and your defense is going up against that starting quarterback every single day, you're a little bit more equipped to take care of a running quarterback.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Correct? Right?
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah. So therefore I like Philly's defense a little bit more in that situation for that fact. So
Yeah.
I am leaning a lot more towards the Eagles on this. When I first seen this game, I automatically popped in my head Ravens. Automatically, Ravens. But the more I dove into it, the more I started thinking about it, the more I thought about how the Eagles are equipped to beat Baltimore. I ended up liking the Eagles a lot more. What another thing that Hurts likes to do? He loves to throw the deep ball. What did we just say about Baltimore? Their
Can't handle it.
secondary sucks.
They can't
So
handle it.
I think AJ Brown's going to have a huge day here. I think they're going to hold Barkley in check. I like Barkley under 100 yards this game.
I love that. Those are great bets. Guys, listen to those fantasy bets for real. AJ Brown over his yards. I don't care what they are. No, you're right.
Yeah.
It's about time he goes off. They all knew that Cincinnati was going to throw the ball. Didn't matter. It did not matter. I think you're right. Saquon gets held in check, and they think that that's the key to the game. And guess what? They're going to find out really quick that if you give Jalen Hurts gimmies, it ain't going to go well.
No, not at all. Not
and
at
he's
all.
got gimmies all day. Yeah, I love the Eagles here. I couldn't get Cooper DeJean out of my head.
Yeah.
If Lamar
he just has that name. He has one of those names. Like once you hear it, it just sticks in your head.
If Lamar takes off, DeJean is going to lay mustard on that man. I'm telling you, he doesn't wait. Cooper hits. You can turn your TV on mute and still hear him through your screen. It's absolutely brutal. And he can continue to do it. He's a young kid. He's going to be fantastic to watch for years. And he's like the third best player on their defense. Wow.
And I said before that he in college he played both corner and safety, so he's very versatile.
Yeah, he's a pure athlete. Like I don't want to mention names, but he starts picking big moments. Yeah, I'm going to start mentioning some names.
Yeah, listen, there is a reason why that Iowa defense, when he was on it last year, was so damn good. Their offense couldn't score a point, but their defense was good, and he was the leader of that defense.
They won like 4 games, 12-9. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So,
next on our docket.
Next, let's see here. We got the Sunday night game. My 49ers at the Buffalo Bills.
Do you want a tissue before you announce this game?
No, because I live in reality, and my Bama won the Iron Bowl last night, so I am in good spirits this week.
Oh, all right.
I can handle my 49ers. I understand. Listen, people were trashing me on Facebook, this and that about my Niners. I said, listen, my Niners, I understand we're not as good as advertised. We're kind of living off a reputation this year.
Fire the coach.
But I'm still a 49ers fan. I'm still a fanatic. I'm still a diehard fan. But I'm also a guy that bets, and I will tell you what I honestly think. And I don't like the 49ers this week.
Oh, yeah.
Purdy's banged up. All accounts is that he's going to play this week, but he's banged up. Not sure if Trent Williams is going to play again this week. He didn't play last week. We've seen what happened there. I'm not looking for him to start, and Bosa's still banged up, so he's not guaranteed to play. That defense is totally different when he's not playing. And even if all those 3 guys did play, and even if all 3 of those guys were healthy, I still don't like the 49ers here. Buffalo is just head and tails the better team right now.
Yeah, I have written possible blizzard whiteout conditions.
Yeah.
That's game time, and maybe it won't be, but all of a sudden it could be like that Pittsburgh Cleveland game, right? You're starting to see the snow start to come in. And I know that everybody and their mother is going to bet the 49ers here once they find out Brock Purdy's playing. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do it. That line is going to move from 6 down to, I think you could see if he's playing it get down to about 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely do not. That's an opportunity for Buffalo. The 49ers are not a good football team. I just, reputation aside, the Green Bay Packers, they said something really interesting. I forget which player, but he said, I don't really care that their quarterback was out. Our quarterback was out, and we still fought in one game. Figure out a different way to win. I don't want to hear the excuses because they wouldn't either. And I went, you know what? You're right. The offensive line is bad.
I mean, they were missing the best left tackle in the league, Trent Williams. Of course, it's going to be bad.
Again, it's one.
That guy said nothing that we didn't already know.
No, but it's one player. It's Trent Williams. By the way, he's fine. He's fine.
No, it's not one player. It's Trent Williams. You're talking about the best left tackle in the league. Even last year when we were good, the one game he did miss, that offensive line looked abysmal.
I should be able to get yards to the right. I do have a starting right guard. It's just there's really something's wrong. It's not tight. It's very loose. Kyle Shanahan's showing up to press conferences angry. I think we're coming to it feels like the end. It certainly doesn't feel like the beginning, and the middle, the middle is over. It feels like the end there. I can't, he's going to lose support in the building. I think if they continue to slide, I think
I think he already did. John Lynch came out this week during his press conference and said we're undisciplined.
Yeah. And you
got John Lynch coming out now, who has been the biggest Kyle Shanahan supporter. Actually, he is the only reason why he became the general manager is because of Shanahan. It's the only reason why John Lynch got the shot.
Yeah,
is because Jed York told Shanahan, "You find somebody out there that you can work with." Shanahan and John Lynch started talking. One thing led to another, and Shanahan picked up the phone, said, "All right, you want to come? Let's talk to. Let's have a meeting with this guy." This guy ended up being Jed York. Jed York liked him, hired the next day. So for Lynch to come out and say something negative about Shanahan is a big deal.
Yeah, it feels sloppy. It just doesn't look like clean football. And again, I understand. Look, there's injuries. I get it. Injuries happen, right? And there's a lot of injuries. Well, how come the guy behind him doesn't look the same? Maybe he's not the same talent. Okay, I get it. Talent's different. But guess what? You still need to prepare your team tight. You got to have plays. You got to have 15 plays that look awesome in the beginning. Why don't they? That's my whole point. My whole point is like, hey man, this should look like a military that can win, right? Mm-hmm. Even if they can't, they need to put up the fight. And I just went, wow, Green Bay and Matt LaFleur is just walked up to his best buddy and punched him in the face. It felt like it was gonna be I was there with my thumb going, all right, I'll bet San Francisco. I'll bet San Fran. I'm gonna put this phone down. I cannot.
I told you not last week.
You told me not to.
I told you why.
I don't listen all the time, and I want. They're getting 12 now, and I went. I can't.
No, you got your starting left tackle out. You got your starting quarterback out, and you got the best defensive player on your team out. No, you don't bet on them.
I think your offensive line coach needs to be fired. If you can't teach technique, you need to go.
No, this is. I forget what other team it was. It was the 49ers and another team. They have a philosophy that besides your left tackle, everybody else you don't need to spend a lot of money on. You can scheme them. And when your key player on that offensive line is out, and when your starting quarterback is out, and you got somebody like Brandon Allen running the show, it's going to be a mess. And anybody that watched that game last week, up until 10 minutes left in the third quarter, the 49ers were scraping. They were starting to come back. We had that big return by Debo that would have put us right back in the game. But they called us back for holding. Then we had another long pass by Brandon Allen that put us down inside the 20, called back for holding. I'm sorry, that was a ineligible man downfield, that call was. So we had two big calls that came back, worked against us to really, really put that game out of hand.
All right, we love the 49ers. Or no, we love the Bills. I'm sorry.
We like the Bills here. And listen, I don't think the 49ers are a great team right now. I really don't. But when I'm watching the games, I also want to put in context on really the deciding factor on what the blowout was. And the blowout really came after those two calls. Yeah. And listen, I bet against them. I took Green Bay last week, so I won. And if you guys listen to me, you guys won too.
That's right. That's all we're trying to do.
That's right. That's all we're doing. Yeah. All right. That was Sunday night's game. We both like Buffalo here. One thing I want to caution you guys with about this game, it's 6.5. Now, if they get dumped with snow, say they get 2-3 feet of snow, like, Buffalo's known to get.
Yeah.
This could easily be a 6-0 game.
Yeah.
You lose by half a point. You might want to watch that a little bit.
And all the things that I just said might not happen, right? So snow could be a great equalizer. Somebody slips, somebody falls, somebody pulls something, and all of a sudden, 3 Bills players are injured. Now it's even. We like the Bills here, but when weather happens, be careful.
Be very careful. I mean, we've seen balls up in Buffalo and New England where they kick it 10 yards to the right, and then it goes 5 yards to the left.
Yeah, there's
with
no
that wind.
Weather.
It's crazy. So I just want you guys to be very cautious. We really, really do like Buffalo a lot here, but this could be a game where it's a 6-0 game if it's bad snow.
Yeah.
So just watch that half point. If you guys do like Buffalo here, try to find somewhere to tease them.
All right.
And you might want to do that with tomorrow's game. Cleveland Browns at Denver Broncos. Browns are getting 6 points. Over-under is 42. Browns are at 215, plus 215 money line. Denver is at negative 265 money line. Jack, before we get on this, what do you think about the under on that Buffalo Niners game? 44.5.
I think it's telling me that there's not going to be snow.
Yeah, that's awful high.
That's a real high. And if there's, if they thought that the snow was going to reach that stadium, then I think
it'd be a lot lower.
I think
it would be
30s. 38, 37 and a half.
I was thinking 34.5 even.
That would be the number. So I don't think, and by the way, everything would change. So I don't, I would not be playing. Guy, when you make money earlier today, don't even play that game. Enjoy, sit back and watch it. I wouldn't,
too many factors in this game. Really is. I mean, Buffalo should hands down win this game easily, but there's too many weather factors in this game.
Yeah, if you want to gamble.
Yeah. And listen, we have no problem gambling. You want to gamble a little bit, go ahead, but just be smart about it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, last game of the week. We got already went through it. Who do you like here? You like Cleveland? You like Denver here, giving 6?
No, it's Denver at home. Cleveland's done. Stefanski's seat's starting to get hot. They already talked about that. General manager probably is not going to make it very much longer. He doesn't deserve to.
No.
So, you're going into the elevation. You might fight hard for a quarter. Cleveland's a mess. I mean, so, the Broncos are starting to have to be taken seriously here. It's 41.5. So, the score is not going to be high. The Broncos are just going to pound you. That's it. That's how we're doing this, right? You're gonna come here and we're just gonna find a way to, at the bottom of the pile, poke your eyes out. That's how Denver plays.
I think you actually a couple weeks ago you had to start taking Denver serious. You got Bo Nix, a rookie that's playing lights out. You got a defense that's one of the tops in the league. You got Sean Payton, who's probably going to get Coach of the Year.
I wish he didn't, but
I mean, he's doing a hell of a job down there.
I'd give it to Tomlin, but yeah.
Yeah, listen, you can. There's probably 3 or 4 coaches out there this year that deserves it. But I'm just saying he's right in the mix. He could very well easily get it. Payton could.
Yeah.
For the turnaround that he did to that team. I mean, a total night and day. And he's doing it with a rookie quarterback that no one thought was going to be what he is right now.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, I like Denver here. I don't think you really have to think about it too much. I
like no-brainers.
Yeah, pretty much is a no-brainer, don't you think?
Is your no sweat bet, right? No sweat.
Yeah.
I like this one. I like the Bucks. Those are basically your no sweat bets.
And this is what I would do. I'll take the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos and tease it. I'll tease the Denver game down to a pick 'em, and I'll take tease the Buffalo game down to a half a point. Love it.
All right.
Love it. That's what I am going to do, guys. All right. As always, we'd like to give you our Thursday night, way too early Thursday night game pick because we don't see you guys back here until Sundays. Right. So we got a great game on Thursday. Finally, we got the Green Bay Packers at Detroit Lions. Heck of a game. Detroit is getting 4.5 giving 4.5 this game. Over under is 51.5. Packers are at plus 180. Detroit's at negative 218. You like here, Jack?
So the first game, Detroit went up to Green Bay and they won. Right. Mm-hmm. I liked Green Bay in that game. I liked Green Bay to finally get one. The problem with that game was the field was slick and Jordan Love was dealing with a groin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you can tell that he couldn't step in anything, he was thrown off his back. I mean, he just really couldn't move at all. I think most of those problems are past him.
Mm-hmm.
I've been picking against Detroit the past couple weeks, and I've been winning. Now, this is not money line. I've been taking the points. I took the points with Houston, right? I took Chicago the other day. I've been winning, taking points against the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are 11-1. Their only loss is to the Buccaneers at home. I mean, this is a great spot to take the Packers to win. 11-1, like nobody just almost goes undefeated. This is quite a run. I understand that Detroit's this juggernaut, but let's not pretend like Chicago didn't look better in the second half because they did.
Mm-hmm.
They really did. So we saw a little, right? It's in Rocky IV, right? When he smacks the Russian and he starts to bleed, he bleeds. Yes, he does. And I believe that Green Bay has a real coach. They have a real plan. And I like their quarterback better. Give me the Packers and Love on the money line.
Okay. Oh, on the money line. Wow.
Yeah, okay. I think it's time. Detroit gets a loss. It's time. It's time.
I like the Packers with the points. I think this is going to be a really close game. I think Detroit comes out with the win, but I think it's going to be a 3-point win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be much. One thing that scares me a little bit is I don't think the Packers have been after. I think it was like two weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I praised the Packers. I was saying how they turned it around. Their defense is playing much better. Blah blah blah. This and that. Ever since I said that, they started regressing a little bit. They haven't been playing as crisp ball. A lot of it has to do with Love's groin. But that defense still hasn't been playing as good as what they were earlier either. But ultimately, I do like the Packers with the points here.
Yeah, no, it's a great bet. But I think if you're trying to make this could be one of those games where you can make money on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, you could take like if I were to tell Greg, the Green Bay Packers are an underdog. I don't care who they're playing against. I'm just saying that. We both know they're a top 5 team right now.
What's
right?
that?
The Packers are a top 5 team.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're a top 5 team league. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 6, whatever. They linger in that area. But I'm going, hey, you're getting plus 200 Green Bay Packers. You're like, Jesus, I'll take that. Immediately. I don't care who they're playing. Can they win that game? This is a live.
Let's see, we're at plus 180. So if you put $10 down, your payout is $28. So you're
That's a
making
live
$18.
And it's a
So
good bet.
Yeah.
It's a really good bet. They're a live dog. This is one, everybody was doing it in college the other day. How about you plant your flag on one?
Oh.
Yeah, Baker made it popular.
Just don't get in a fight over it, guys.
Don't get in a fight, but this is one you can
act like you've been there.
You plant your flag on this one. I'm firmly on the Packers here.
Yeah, I like the Packers with the points here. But quick question for you, because you are a Baker fan, is who did Baker plant the flag on?
Oh, it was Ohio State.
Do you think that had anything? Do you think that had anything to do with yesterday's fight?
They all did.
No, this isn't going to happen again.
Probably. Yeah, Ohio State. Like that's a
because they got some slack for letting Baker do that.
Well, so
I understand Baker. Like somebody came out and was like, didn't they tap him or something like that? But Baker picked it back up and planted it, and that was that.
No, well, he was just gonna run around the stadium with the OU, and somebody started yelling something at him, and that was it.
That was it. Yeah,
mad.
Yeah.
So somebody threw something at him, and he didn't. And Urban Meyer cautioned Ohio State before that game. Their coach, Ohio State was everywhere barking, and he went. And Urban's not a talker, and he's like, "Look, this kid's for real. Don't do this." He almost begged his team not to do it. He's like, "Guys, please." He's going to come up here and he's going to bring his team. They're going to be motivated to play. And at halftime, when Oklahoma was winning, he basically just walked in and said, "You guys deserve this," and walked out. He walked out. He's like, "Figure out your own problems because you created them. I'll call the plays, but you have the problem now. And I warned you of this." That's that.
Yeah, so that's what I thought yesterday when I seen that fight erupt. I'm like, you know what? This is Baker's fault.
It is. But he loves the ruffle feathers, baby.
All right, guys, that is it for us this week, guys. We all appreciate, just like every week, you guys joining us, letting us into your living rooms or your kitchen, wherever you're watching us. We greatly appreciate it. Real quick, guys, I want to thank everybody at OldGamerGk Entertainment. We hit 2,000 subscribers, so we are growing. So, guys, we greatly appreciate that. For this month, we will be on YouTube, we will be on Twitch, and we will be on Facebook. So check us out on all 3 platforms. But ultimately, guys, we want you guys over at our YouTube channels at OldGamerGk. And over at Fantasy Farm Sports, all one word. That's ultimately where we want you guys at. But, guys, we will take your views anywhere we can get them. We just want you guys to join us.
Fantasy Farm Sports, baby, always giving you the best in NFL and college picks.